the government has said that there has been a significant reduction in the number of spam calls being reported or the number of complaints being filed as far as spam calls are concerned. This, of course, a stricter action is now being taken. There has been an overhaul of rules vis-a-vis spam calls, particularly in making distinctions between commercial numbers and personal numbers, and also the do not dial list that has now come up. The TRAI also roping in telecom players. So there has been a significant amount of concerted effort towards that. But joining me on the show this morning, Amit Dubey, a cyber fraud expert. Mr. Dubey, it's important that the government says that there is a reduction in the number of complaints that are being filed, because of course with more and more awareness about the issue, people are coming forward and filing complaints. But the way in which these cyber fraudsters operate, that has also changed a great deal in the past 2 years or so, I would say. Would you say that our rules, particularly when it comes to the TRAI and the government, are well equipped to deal with the kind of sophistication with which these fraudsters are operating?
I think it was a good move to curb these spam calls, but this is not sufficient. 20% reduction means nothing for a country like India. Still, there are millions and millions of calls going, and those are actually a source of these frauds. You would notice that in last couple of months, we have seen a purge of calls which are coming from Pakistani numbers, plus 92 numbers. And most of these digital arrest cases, those have been reported. Either they received a IVR call from a call center where we hear a pre-recorded voice, and then they say that you need to connect to our customer care executive. Press 9. You yourself press 9 and you connect to their customer care executive, who is well trained to deceive you and eventually take your money out. Or we get a call from a Pakistani number. So these two are, so they have changed their modus operandi. They have now set up call centers, full-fledged call centers. And these call centers might be running from anywhere. I think we need to curb this also. Otherwise, this 20% reduction is just a face value reduction. It doesn't lead anything on the ground.
Yes, that's an important point you're making. Given the kind of, given how pervasive it has become, a 20% reduction really means nothing. But, this distinction that the government is trying to make, I mean, with the do not dial list and also making people more aware about how commercial numbers start with 140, and that is something that, people should be aware about, and there should be no, if personal numbers are being used for spam, then that is something that's being blacklisted. But just, a word of caution for our viewers also, how to make this distinction of which number could potentially be a spam call.
I think all these kind of provisions create lots of confusion. Even if, because we can't make everybody aware about these, that, okay, there is a 6-digit number for banking calls or +14 number for these helpline numbers, and they don't remember. Normally, people just receive a call and the caller is actually able to give them some personal information which is so trustworthy that they start trusting that person, some PI data. And that's why they normally ignore from where this call is coming, whether it is coming from +92 or +91, even they can't see that as well. So I'm sure to make this, spread this awareness and to reach to each and everyone will take lots of time. We need some other proactive mechanisms from the telecom operator side, from the government side. We can't push too much onus on the users that, okay, you just notice this, you please check this, you please check the headers or links or QR code. They cannot do this. They are not trained, and especially most of the people, they may not be even technical. So point is that why are you giving so much variations? Rather create some mechanism at the source side to detect this and block it. Because these guys are running some call centers. Why can't we detect it through an AI tool and see, okay, this is a new call center?
And also, Mr. Dubey, very quickly, also in the redressal mechanism, how do we report spam calls? That's also extremely important, given the fact that we're talking about complaints right now.
Yeah, there is a redressal mechanism. Actually, there are 3 citizen service programs on sancharsati.gov.in where you can report any call if you receive from an international number. Right. You can report any malicious link and everything. But the point is, okay, we are collecting this data, but what we are doing from this data? Are we taking action timely? Are we blocking these numbers within few hours? Or these are still running for a few days? I think this is something which we need to fix. Absolutely. If we don't fix this, even if, so we at the I4C portal also, we receive close to 20,000 complaints every day. But are we using this data? Because law and order is a state affair, and the complaints are received at the central portal, central government portal. When they push it to the state bodies, do they take actions? Do they work on those complaints? No. Most of these complaints are actually left uninvestigated. So that is the challenge. We are getting data, we know the challenge, but we are not able to replicate that information at the ground level to solve the problem. I think this is a big gap.